Maleah's mother, Brittany Bowens, was confronted by several protesters, leading to some tense moments.
She found herself face-to-face with protesters instead, calling on police to arrest her. Bowens said nothing as she walked out.
What's going through your head with this?
Brittany Bowens had no comment as she left court, where her ex-fiancé Derion Vence's arraignment was rescheduled. Relatives of Maleah's biological dad yelling accusations at Maleah's mom as she left court.
Everybody that has something to do with this, they need to be locked up. Because if it was your kids or your family member, you'll do everything under the sun to make sure they serve.
Tamisha Mendoza is Maleah's father's cousin.
It's pathetic. It's sick that the fact that this woman can still walk around smiling.
What evidence do you know of that she's done anything
What
wrong?
I know is none of y'all business. I'm gonna let the laws tell y'all.
Hey, what's up? It's iCkEdMeL. There is several updates that we need to talk about. And remind me not to get on Houston's bad side, because damn, those people don't play. So you're going to want to make sure you watch this entire video. There's things from Brittany Bowens to the court hearing, why it was rescheduled, what the DA had to say, new information on the inmate, the whole Quanell 3-day search party thing, and so much more. So make sure you stay tuned. And by the way, if you're subscribed, or if you're going to subscribe now, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, because people tell me all the time they don't get my videos, they don't get the notifications. You have to click the bell and hit all notifications so you can get every video. We'll start off with the basics. Today was the court hearing for Derion Vence, and he didn't show up. His lawyer showed up.
Derion Vence, the man referred to as Maleah Davis's stepfather, was due in court this morning. Right now, he's charged with tampering with the court.
Russ, Derion Vence didn't even make it into the courtroom today.
Derion Vence wasn't there for the hearing, failing to appear at a scheduled court date.
So, Derion Vence, he is still only charged with tampering with a corpse. That tells you something, that he still only has those charges. Behind the scenes, somebody did tell me this a while back, that they don't have enough evidence. And for all the people who said, who cares with the whole Quanell situation, and we're going to get more into it, but them having details of where her location was prior, and now she got run over by a lawnmower. For all those people who said they don't care, well, maybe that's why he still only has a tampering with the corpse charge, right? And this court hearing is rescheduled for September.
Vence remains only charged with tampering with a corpse. He's due back on that charge in court in September.
So let me paint it for you better. I want to show you this post by Ivory Hecker. Okay, as I've said, these reporters, they're affiliated with police. And shout out to all the people that email me and send me messages on Facebook, because I honestly could not do this by my own. I really appreciate you guys. She says here, Derion Vence's co-worker at Farm Medium sent me this screenshot of a couple of messages sent by Derion about Maleah approximately 3 weeks before he reported her. Derion was scheduled to appear in court today for an arraignment, but his attorney reset it for September 16. He's charged with tampering with Maleah's body after she died. No one has yet been charged with causing her death. Police tell me with the autopsy still pending, they don't have enough evidence to prove intent. So all those people that were upset, saying who cares with the whole Quanell thing, and who cares, she was found regardless, who cares, right? And what I was trying to point out in those videos is that it does matter, right? If they knew where her body was, which I spoke to somebody, which I can't say who, that also, besides all the videos I put together for you guys, for the people that doubt, besides that, I spoke with somebody on the ground that confirmed they were searching their days prior. Meaning that if they would have acted sooner, if they would have taken the inmates, whatever, however they got the information from the inmate or whatever, if they would have taken it seriously, maybe she wouldn't be run over by a lawnmower. And then you're going to still have people, who cares? Who cares, right? Well, if you're really justice for Maleah, and like I've said previously, it doesn't just end there. Oh, she was found. No. You see, police tell me the autopsy is still pending. They don't have enough evidence to prove intent. Justice for Maleah is not just about finding her, but it's holding all these people accountable. Now, the text message, I'm not sure how to interpret it, man. You guys tell me, you read it, you tell me what you think. Does this mean he was caring for her, that he cared? I'm not sure what to think about the text message. Quick note, Ivory Hecker, Out of all the reporters that I spoke to, she was the nicest person that I spoke to, and she was to me, she seemed genuine compared to all the other people. Now, if you remember, Tim Miller said himself, the guy from EchoSearch, that it would probably be impossible to determine the cause of death of Maleah Davis because she was, run over by the lawnmower.
But it was a gruesome sight. It was a terrible sight to see. It took hours on gathering up body parts and evidence.
So just let that sink in for a second. I have to stop. It took hours collecting body parts. And you have these people that are saying, who cares? You have the people that believe that Quanell, his daughter, had a dream. She had some sort of premonition and told him where Maleah was, that she's right outside of Texas in Arkansas. And that's what made him go see Derion. People will believe this and eat it up and be satisfied and not ask any more questions.
Late Thursday night, my daughter Camille sent me a text message and she said, Daddy, I had a dream about Maleah. And I said, well, Camille, baby, what did you dream? She said, Daddy, I dreamed that you were in an open field and there was a bunch of police around you and y'all had bags in your hands and y'all was digging in the ground, taking body parts out the ground. And she said, and it was in Texas, but right out of Texas. They were hunting houses in Texas, right out of Texas.
I kid you not, there's people that actually believe that story. I'm not lying. People actually believe Quanell's story. The next part is the rest of the clip with Tim Miller, the soundbite where he says that he feels it's going to be impossible to determine the cause of death. Also, she was discarded like trash.
He says she was left in a plastic bag, then run over by mowers.
To do an autopsy to determine her cause of death, I think, is going to be impossible.
The image he can't shake is seeing a little pink barrette among the remains thrown out like trash.
So I'm going to read this top part. You guys can read the bottom on your own. You can pause it. But it says, if established after a preliminary coroner's investigation, forensic examination of the descendant's body, and review of the medical records, the cause of death will be available to the relatives within 24 to 48 hours after the death is reported to the coroner's office. If further testing and investigation is required, it could take several months before a cause of death is available. The death certificate will show pending in the cause of death section. So if you take a look at this next part, which this was sent to me, it says cause of death pending, no. So that means that they would know the cause of death, right? And it says manner of death homicide. And when this news report came out, I was just kind of like, we all know it was homicide, but I guess it's good for court. And they didn't release what the primary cause of death was. So I'm thinking, okay, they're just holding it for court. But now that today court happened and multiple people are saying that there's not enough evidence, maybe they don't know the primary cause of death, and maybe this lawnmower affected that.
The district attorney's office not commenting on any other individuals possibly involved, only telling us in a statement, although you've heard a general finding on the death, the actual autopsy report has not yet been completed and therefore not yet been forwarded to prosecutors. When prosecutors get the report, they will continue to be deliberate and methodical as they thoroughly evaluate the evidence and possible charges. We remain focused on justice for Maleah.
I'm really curious, what do you guys think about the whole death certificate situation? The DA said they actually haven't received it. They said it's pending, it's waiting for results. This picture that I was sent says the cause of death is not pending. It seems to be a legitimate picture that somebody sent me. I don't know. Comment below, let me know your thoughts about that. Now, the next thing, which is kind of interesting, I think a couple days ago, people started sending me pictures of Brittany Bowens' Facebook profile, right, that it became active again. And the interesting thing about that, it's her, Derion, and the kids in the background, right? This is supposed to be a mother that I guess is grieving. I mean, does she not believe Derion did it? Does she believe it's an accident? I've said it before. I think these two people are still maybe in love with each other. Check it out. What do you guys think of this?
Facebook photos are still up today showing her and Vence in 2017 and a 2018 photo of Vence and the kids. He's charged with tampering with the corpse of 4-year-old Maleah Davis.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird, right? Are you really a grieving mother when you're posting pictures of the guy that's being alleged of killing your daughter? Or maybe she believes that he didn't do it on purpose. or maybe this is part of the plan. Now here, I wanted to address the inmate situation. This was sent to me also, David Chalfant. Thank you again to the people that sent me information. I really appreciate you guys. I could not do this on my own, but I'm hearing now, and I've heard from 2 different sources, that he was transferred out of there to stop him from talking to Derion. Obviously, David Chalfant has a record: kidnapping, deadly weapon, something, and aggravated robbery. And I don't know, it's just kind of interesting that after this whole situation came out and the police have not denied that David Chalfant actually told him and made a confession. They haven't denied it. They transfer him from the facility. The next clip I wanted to show you, which was kind of interesting, is where the prosecutors went and they got records, I guess, from 3 different hospitals of Maleah having, well, she had multiple head surgeries.
Meanwhile, the prosecution obtaining Maleah's medical records from 3 area hospitals. Child Protective Services reports Maleah had several brain surgeries after a serious head injury last August.
So the last clip that I have for you guys is this guy, Derion Kotler. This is Derion Vence's attorney. And what I wanted to ask you is that, like, is this a strategy when these attorneys are quiet and they don't talk to the media? I mean, the prosecutor doesn't need to talk to the media because everybody else is already doing the work for them. But when it comes to a defense attorney, I kind of wonder, is this a smart move to stay quiet? Because ultimately, a jury has to decide Derion's fate, and already everybody has pretty much their own opinion of involvement, right? Like, if he doesn't speak up and give the side out, I just kind of wonder, is this smart? Is this bad? I mean, he doesn't even make any public statements that I know of. I mean, I've seen some news articles quote what he's said to them, but you haven't really seen him speak publicly, right, to denounce the allegations. I mean, I wonder what even is their strategy.
I'm not giving a statement.
For Derion Vence's attorney, Derion Kotler, also declining comment on his way out of court.
So my final thoughts. The people in Houston, they seem to be really passionate about this story. It's unfortunate that you have some other people taking advantage of Maleah Davis and her story. And what I would say is that people out there, I know people are very passionate, and a lot of people are bothered, and there's been so many people through situations that they've gone through in their life as a child that when they see Maleah, they can relate. What I would say is, make sure you don't get caught up in anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? Do things the proper way, do things strategically, and don't get yourself caught up doing something crazy in terms of retribution or revenge. I would never advocate for that. Peace.